Today, we're starting out the positional rankings in the 2024 NHL Draft with the goaltenders. Now, although I think the 2023 draft absolutely has this draft beat, I still think this draft class, especially outside of the top 50 for me, has a lot of great depth and a lot of guys that could factor into NHL lineups someday. And today we're going to go through my top 10 goalies in this class, my absolute favorites, showcasing their strengths, their weaknesses, what they could provide for NHL teams, and how good they could be in the future. So make sure you watch till the end for all the scouting reports and all the rankings, and hit that subscribe button if you're new for more hockey content just like this, and a ton of draft content leading up to the draft this year that you won't want to miss, just like this. Now, before we get into those rankings, I first want to show you guys my picks on Sleeper Fantasy for Game 4 between the Oilers and Panthers. This one is going to be a wild one. I have a feeling the Oilers will do well, but of course, we have no idea. I mean, the Panthers have dominated in this series so far, but I got 3 simple picks no matter who actually ends up winning. This is what I believe will happen individually. First, I got Vladimir Tarasenko, more than 1.5 shots. I mean, he's continued to be automatic with this. I also got Leon Draisaitl, less than 0.5 goals. He could get a point. He could factor into this game, but I think goal scoring wise, he's going to stay off the board. And I also got Aaron Ekblad at more than 1.5 blocks, also pretty automatic in this regard. We'll see what happens, but those are my picks for Game 4. And if you want to make your own picks for the series, just make sure you sign up to Sleeper by going in the description, clicking the link there, and make sure you use promo code GRAB on your first deposit, and you'll get up to an $100 match. Every time you guys do, it helps the channel a ton, and thank you to Sleeper for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get into the goaltending rankings, and this class is going to be extremely interesting. I would say kind of like the actual class in general. There's a lot of goaltenders that I don't think are extremely highly talented or are going to be future stars in this league, but a lot of goaltenders that I could see shaping in NHL lineups and just being solid guys in their careers. Now, I do have 3 players that I wanted to mention today, guys that just missed this list, but I do want to give some attention to them. First up, I got Cam Henriksen, who might have been number 11 on this list, honestly. He's somebody that just missed the cut, but I think it's going to be somebody that you really want to watch out for. He's somebody that had an incredible year in the USHS. I mean, he's somebody that had a 951 save percentage in high school, and he carried that over to the USHL pretty solidly. With Omaha, he had a 924 save percentage and was somebody that was really able to play calm and collective hockey already. He's still quite a bit raw for my liking, and we don't really have much of a sample size against higher competition, but he's somebody that if he continues to grow, could be one of the best goalies coming out of this draft. Dawson Cowan is also somebody that I speculated of having on this list perhaps. He's somebody though that as a first-time eligible is on the older side with a September birthday, but at 6'1", 185 pounds, he was okay in his first full year as a starter, played 43 games for them and got an 899 save percentage. I do think sometimes, even though he's a good skater and has some good individual talents, there are times that when the game gets more intense, when shifts are just chaotic in his own zone, that he can just lose the puck, lose tracking, and ultimately just not make the saves when he needs to. And that's something that I think, especially as the game ramps up and gets even more insulated with pace, is going to hold back Cowan in the end. I also got Ilya Nabokov, somebody that will absolutely go high in this draft. I could see him going inside the top 3 rounds, but he's somebody that at 21 years old, even though he had a great KHL campaign this last year, is just somebody that I'd rather just sign in the end. He's somebody that I think has a mature game already, has really progressed well, but I don't think has the incredible individual talent to be able to be a supreme NHL starter. Maybe that's something that I'm wrong on, but I would rather bet on a younger goaltender that maybe could surpass or even be on the level than Nabokov is at his age. But now we get ourselves started inside the top 10, and going on to my 10th best goaltender in this class, I got Lukas Cloutier out of the Chicago Steel. He is one of the youngest goaltenders in this class, having an August birth date. Coming from Canada, he was playing in the USHL this last year and has grown actually quite a bit over the past year and a half in terms of pure height. He's somebody that, although is a little bit raw, I thought in Chicago's system on a team that really wasn't that great this year, he surpassed a lot of expectations. He got a 904 save percentage, was pretty good in the playoff games he played too. He's somebody that has a great skating stride. I think just has a lot of good hockey sense too. He's adaptable. He reads the play well. I think he's somebody though that is raw in the glove hand, raw in reading plays, especially once things get more complicated, especially when there's tips involved. But he's someone that with the youth, with what he's shown already, I'm willing to bet on. He's somebody that I could absolutely see going undrafted in this year's draft, but having a stellar USHL campaign next year and ultimately getting a draft pick. Of course, going to Nebraska, I think will be huge for him. I think he's somebody that's going to develop pretty well over the next few years. And if he does go undrafted, make a lot of teams regret that. Now we're going to go on to number 9 and somebody that I've liked a lot throughout the course of this season, and that's Evan Gardner of the Saskatoon Blades. Now, sure, is Saskatoon pretty good at making their goaltenders look great? That is true. And in 30 games, he got a .927 save percentage, and I thought looked pretty great in the playoffs, too. He's somebody that I don't think has the individual talent to be a future starter or anything, but I think under the right situations, he's a calm, poised goaltender. He's somebody that is able to stay square on pucks, really attack players coming up in front of their nets, and to me, he just brings a lot of solid characteristics. Nothing that's going to blow you away, but I could absolutely see him becoming this fringe, solid backup goaltender in the NHL someday. Now, moving on to number 8, and a goaltender that has gotten a lot of responsibility and a lot of hype throughout this season, and that is Carter George of the Owen Sound Attack. Another CHL goaltender, and on the younger side with May birthday, which you like to see. He's somebody that I think size-wise is going to be a little bit limited at the next level, especially with the way he plays. He doesn't really play very big, but he's somebody that has an excellent sense of the game, and especially when play needs to be pushed up, he's somebody that has an excellent passing ability. He's somebody that can play up and get the puck around the boards and just look very clean with everything, really. And that's something that I think Canada has really appreciated. He, of course, going to the U18 World Juniors and being the starter there, he's just a clean, compact goaltender. And even though I have some problems, especially once the shooters get a lot more talented to the next level, he's somebody that I can still see becoming a solid NHL goalie. Not somebody that'll blow anybody away, but a serviceable guy. Now going on to number 7, and a goaltender that really does use space well, and that's Mikhail Yegorov out of the Omaha Lancers. You can see it, 6'4", 187 pounds. He's somebody that is a big goaltender, but he plays like it. This is somebody that I think, especially with the size and especially attacking one-on-one, is somebody that is going to have a lot of strengths going forward. You can see it wasn't the most successful season for him. An .892 save percentage, and Omaha wasn't in the greatest position either. That win and loss record ain't too pretty. But he's going to Boston University, and I think that does show the confidence in him. And he's somebody that I think has a lot of talent with the frame, with how he's able to use it, the way he's able to get into strong positions well and make it look effortless. He's somebody that I don't think has a little bit of issues, especially when the game gets faster, especially when players are trying to attack him with speed. He's somebody that skating-wise, I think will need to improve going forward, but he's still quite a raw goaltender, and I think is somebody that will eventually translate into a good one in the future. He's somebody that does have his issues, but I think if he can get a little bit more competent and improve that skating just a little bit to be a little bit more adaptable in those high-intense situations, Yegorov could be somebody that could really turn out to be a special goalie. Now we go on to number 6, right outside the top 5. We're going to head on to the NTDP in Nicholas Kempf. At 6'2", 190 pounds, he's someone that I've enjoyed watching through the course of this season. University of Notre Dame commit. He's somebody that has gotten better and better through the course of the season. His second half, especially at the U18 World Juniors, was pretty excellent. A .919 save percentage in 6 games. He's somebody that I don't think is incredibly diverse. He's somebody that is just really solid in a lot of different ways. His skating is brilliant. He's somebody that is just really compact, really good at tracking pucks, especially when things get chaotic. I do think there are times where his rebound control can be questionable. It's shaky, it's strange, but I do think in Kemp's case, that's kind of a quality of competition issue. Once the NCAA comes, that's going to be the real test for him, but I do think he has a lot of solid attributes, a lot of good traits that will eventually lead him to a good direction in his career. Kind of like Drew Comesso in a way, where nothing is spectacular, but a lot of things come together to get the job done. But now we get inside my top 5 goalie prospects for this class, and at number 5, we're going to go to one of my favorites to watch in this class, in Lukas Matecha, who is an overager, yes, but is somebody that came into the junior level of Tri-City for his first year in the WHL, and I thought was pretty incredible. Tri-City, not the greatest team in the world, but he got a .901 save percentage in 35 WHL games, and there's a lot to like here. I think the agility, the speed is incredible, especially for his size. He is a big boy, but he's able to move and fly like the wind. And I also think the aggressiveness. He's somebody that I just love aggressive goalies inherently. I love when they're entertaining. I love when they make huge saves. But Matecha loves the flair. He loves the flash. There are a couple issues. I think he's a little bit raw in his tracking ability and actually being square to the shooter. He sometimes plays a little bit tinier than he actually is, but he's someone with the actual quality of skating, with the talent he has. I think will be a guy that you could shape into a quality NHL goaltender someday, and could be a pretty good one too. Next up at number 4, if you really value size and mobility, this next one is going to be your guy, and that's Pavel Moysevich, who in Russia has really been making a name for himself this year, and he's somebody that I think will definitely go pretty high in this draft. At 6'5", 176 pounds, he has the actual bulk, and he plays like it too. He's somebody that was able to get a pretty good chunk of change in the KHL this season, and with SKA in 13 games, 1.25 goals against average, average, a 942 save percentage. He also played a playoff game as a 19-year-old and got a 941 save percentage too. Obviously, SK is ridiculous, but I do think under the right structure, he's somebody that is just very quiet, very compact. He's somebody that with his size knows how to use it and can really beat players with just that size and that athletic ability. He's somebody that I think with those traits, with those special characteristics, will go quite far. Really, the only knock you can put up against him is that he's in a stacked system, which is true, and we haven't really gotten to see him in a lesser situation, but he's somebody that I think, especially under the right system, can be a special goaltender and can play to a defensive system's strengths. And the Belarusian stud, I mean, this is somebody that is in the perfect program, in the perfect position, and with the skill and characteristics he has, it's hard not to bet on him being an NHL goalie. But now going inside the top three, we're going to go to the cream of the crop in this year's draft class, starting at number 3 with Kempf Saarinen out of the Liga. And he's somebody that I do like quite a bit. He's on the younger side, which is always a plus with a July birth date, but at 6'4", 181 pounds, he really doesn't have the rawness that you would expect for such a young goalie. He's somebody that's really progressed well in every single league he's played in. I mean, he played in the U18 Liga, and he played also in the Liga this year, and playing well everywhere he went. I mean, he's somebody that I think with the athleticism, with the tracking ability, that to me is the most important thing. He's quick at getting his head in every position to see plays, to see pucks, and that's something that, especially with the quicker development that you're going to get in the pro game, especially once you hit North America, that vision and that adaptability is going to be huge for him, and especially with the size he has already, that is a major plus. I do think there are times the rebound control can be a little bit wonky, and he kind of plays with fire a little bit too often, more than I'd like, but also that might be a symptom of his age, that might be a symptom of him trying to be more aggressive than he maybe should, and those things I think could absolutely be ironed out. But I think with the size, with the skill he brings, he's somebody that I could see being a starter with the combination of everything here. But now we move on to number 2 and go on to my favorite North American goalie in this draft. We go on to Ryerson Leenders of the Mississauga Steelheads. Leenders and the goalie that would be number 1 were players that just missed my top 50 list, would definitely be in a later, maybe second round, early third round range for me personally. And in Leenders' case, he brings a lot of things that I like personally. I love when goaltenders can bring poise, when they can keep the game quiet and just control the play, control the pace. That's something that I think is especially important in goaltenders, especially when you ramp up the pace of the NHL and the NHL playoffs. You want to see goaltenders that can quiet the game down. And in Leenders' case, a lot like Trey Augustine from last year's draft, he's able to do that effortlessly. And with Mississauga this year, a 909 save percentage in 46 games, saw in the playoffs, and I thought the game he played at the World Juniors was excellent too. He, to me, would have been the guy for me, although it worked out for Team Canada. To me, Leenders is the quality of Canada's crop this year. He, to me, just brings so much to the game, so much quietness, so much effectiveness. And like Augustine, I don't see him being this franchise elite goaltender for you, but like Augustine, I think he'll be a quiet, effective one, and if he is your starter, you're not complaining. I think because he doesn't have elite size and he doesn't really play an exciting game, he could end up dropping in this year's draft, but honestly, past round 3, I think you'd be getting a steal and a quality goaltender for your prospect pool. But now we go on to the best of the best, and this might be a little bit boring, but it is what it is. I'm making a ranking. I'm not trying to be exciting here. I'm trying to rank the best prospects in this class, and at number 1, to me, the best goalie prospect will absolutely be Emil Vinny. He, throughout a lot of this draft process, has been maybe the most hyped goaltender of the class, but for very good reason. He is the best goaltender in this class, and although I don't think it's by a large margin whatsoever, to me, Vinny would be around a couple of spots higher than Leenders. To me, he will likely be the most effective. You can see he's 6'2", 185 pounds. Like Leenders, he doesn't bring insane size or anything, but it's the effectiveness and the way he has played throughout the years. He's somebody that has just had some quietly great seasons, and in the Mistis, even though those numbers won't pop out at you, an 892 save percentage, still, to play as well as he did in a pro league like that, I think is impressive for his age. He's somebody that I think strikes the best mix of poise and aggressiveness out of any goaltender in this class. He's very calculated in how he attacks forwards, especially guys coming and driving the net. He's somebody that can get out in front exactly when he needs to and make the right play when he needs to. You combine that too with the skating, the edge work, which is absolutely elite, and he's somebody that will be able to make up for his mistakes with quick decisions and ultimately will be able to get back in his net if anything goes wrong. I think he still does need to add some muscle. That to me is a big thing, and staying consistent, especially at the start of games, I think will be a big thing for him. But I do think Vinny is somebody that when you stash him in the Liga, stash him in Finland for a couple years, you can bring him over to North America and get a very special player here. I don't think he's going to be an elite franchise goaltender for you, but a very solid one I could absolutely see. And the way he's able to stop high danger chances, the aggressiveness when he needs to, the calculated decisions and the edge work there, to me, the complete package is most likely going to be produced here. And to me, Vinny is the best goaltender in this draft class. But those are my goalie rankings for 2024, and I would love to know your thoughts down below. What do you guys agree? What do you guys disagree with? And out of all this top 10, who do you want to see your team potentially draft? Who do you want to see your team go after? How good do you see these guys being? I would love to know all your thoughts down below. Of course, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you haven't already, and share the video for all the hockey fans you guys know online. Click on this card as well for all the 2024 draft content. So much to watch right there that you'll want to enjoy. And I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a great hockey day, and goodbye.